brought to you by Chinook Seedery. Use the code The Skipper's View to get 10% off on seeds from Chinook Seedery. We bring them up all the time. They're a great seed company, and we think you should buy their seeds. Use our code, get 10% off. We will start off. We got a few hot corners. I'm going to give number one shout out. Yankees Red Sox is on right now, and thinking of Dean, it was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to our leader, and he also drove me home at 5 a.m. this morning from the Poconos. So definitely loved. We're big fans of Dean right now. What a champion! But if he's listening, which I doubt he is, because he's watching the Boston game. Yankees right now are playing the Sox. Both they tie. I guess the series is tied 1-1. And as they're going off, I think you guys just mentioned Rodon just gave up a 3-run jack. It's 5-3 Boston at the top of the sixth with 2 outs. We'll start there, guys. So Boston. Have you guys watched the Yankees Red Sox series at all?
A little
Yes.
bit, yeah.
So my take, like quick take, a lot of runs have been scored in the series. Like a lot of runs. So any big call outs from you two on either end that you want to bring up?
Um, I got to go honestly, Trevor Story. I mean, the Red Sox offense the last few weeks has been pretty dreadful, and I know Story as well has been kind of. I mean, he's been pretty bad to put it just bluntly, but I know that a lot of people were mentioning that Story has only played, I think, 100 games in his career with the Red Sox. So while the production has not been there, you also have to take into account that this is a guy that's also getting used to playing Major League Baseball almost every single day. And if this is a guy that can step up until Alex Bregman can come back, they need kind of that leader along with Rafael Devers. That would be huge for them. But I think he had a 3 RBI double yesterday. I think he had 5 or 6 RBIs, but he had a really good game. And Carlos Narvaez just hit a 3-run home run. He's been one of the most impressive rookies in Major League Baseball. So just two guys that I've definitely been looking at.
Hagen, anything from you on that?
I just thought the Red Sox that first game just looked kind of dead. Like it just they got their ass handed to them, and it seemed like by the second inning when they went down, whatever 7 runs, whatever it was, it just felt like they're not going to come back from this. Just and it doesn't help that Roman Anthony's hitting 500-foot grand slams in AAA when you know he can help this team right away. And I know Trevor Story, like great shout there, Ethan, because obviously I think I've been out one of those guys too. It's kind of giving him some shit and saying they got to either put him on the bench or DFA him for how bad he's been. So it's nice to see him step up. But I think one person I think Boston really needs to step up is Jaron Duran. I mean, he's got a 107 WRC plus this year. I know he has the average still this year and he's getting hits, but he's not doing too much damage. And I feel like you need Jaron Duran to set that table for the Red Sox. I mean, we saw it last year how good they could be, even when their roster wasn't as good when he was setting the table for them. So he's someone that I'm trying to look forward to get it here going a little bit better.
Yeah, and you can even see it here just in his stats. Like, look at that batting average, tied 48th, home runs, 150th plus, RBIs, 44th plus. Last year, I felt this guy was like across the top 10 in multiple hitting categories. So I don't doubt he can bring it back. He's had a lot of, I don't know, a lot of, but he's obviously had his on and off field issues that are stemming outside of baseball. And I don't even want to use the word issues here. I want to just say like, um, items that have popped up. And I think like maybe things have sidetracked him. And there's a lot going on in Boston. It's like, and we'll talk about this next. We're going to talk about Roman Anthony, the number one prospect in the game right now. Um, there's been a lot of distractions in Boston between like the injury to Bregman, the bringing in of Bregman. Rafael Devers has done nothing to help this team as a leader. In my opinion, he's done nothing. You know, I know some people are gonna, say you don't know what you're talking about, but come on, Rafael Devers has not done anything this season to like step up as a leader. And I know it's not fair the cards that were dealt to him, but the cards were dealt. And you got Jaron Duran trying to focus with the guy like Cora. I know that Sam and Dean constantly complain about this. Cora's moving younger guys like Christian Campbell all around the field, not letting them get reps at a specific position. That is a big deal in baseball, no matter how people see it. um, I kind of, I think Duran will have a big second half. I do. I think he's super talented. And I think he's a really good baseball player. Bottom line. That being said, I'll jump ahead from the Red Sox, and we're going to talk about this when we go through the AL East. Might as well just talk about it now since we're on the subject. Roman Anthony hit a 497-foot grand slam in AAA the other day. Guys, it's June 8th. When's he getting the call? The Red Sox are currently 31-35. Hagen, what do you think he's up?
I felt like if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said, "Oh, any day now." I felt like because they already manipulated the year service time. I think it's deep enough into the season where he's not going to win Rookie of the Year and just get rid of that service time he just manipulated. I mean, Jacob Wilson's top 10 in the league in WAR right now. I mean, I think Jacob Wilson, unless he gets hurt by any means, I think he's pretty much got the AL Rookie of the Year on wraps. At least, obviously, stuff can go downhill and everything, but he's a heavy favorite. I don't really think Roman Anthony has a huge chance of winning the Rookie of the Year at this point. So I just don't see the service time. I don't see the aspect of it on why he's not up yet. And as for like, if you're really gonna, you got to be able to move these guys around. I mean, like Trevor Story was the big one. I know he just had a great series, but he's hitting like 230. He's one of the worst hitters in all of Major League Baseball this year. He's not playing good defense either. You got to accept the fact that you have to move on and just accept he's a bench bat at least. You don't want to DFA him, that's fine with me. I know it's a lot to eat $20 million a DFA a guy, but you got to put him on the bench. You got to be able to move these guys around and get Roman Anthony on the field. I know Christian Campbell, he's ever since the first month of the season, he's been one of the worst players in Major League Baseball. I mean, could it be he gets sent down to AAA, get a new face in there? I don't know, but it's just I don't know what to say about the Red Sox and what they're going to do here with Roman Anthony because he should be up, and I don't really know when he's going to be up now.
Ethan, what about you? Where are you at with Anthony?
I mean, the fact that Roman Anthony hit the farthest home run, it would have been the farthest home run in Major League Baseball. It would have been 13 feet farther than Mike Trout's this year, which is unbelievable. I want to say like he gets called up next week. I know that's like probably not going to happen, but around the same time when Cags got called up, I think every one of us on the podcast said it's got to be like within the next couple of days, and I think it happened 2 days after. I don't know how you don't call up a guy after he just hit the farthest home run in all of baseball. I think he's walking the last time I checked over 20% of the time. So it's just showing of how good his plate discipline is. He hits the ball as hard as anyone in baseball and will when he gets to Major League Baseball. And look, the Red Sox have been scuffling. Also shout out Christian Campbell, opposite field 2-run home run today. So hopefully that kind of gets him going, especially being 22 years old. But yeah, I don't know how you don't call up a guy that just hit a 500-foot grand slam. I mean, you'd think that that'd be something that would happen in Major League Baseball. I mean, he did it in AAA. I mean, people hitting the ball 500 feet is absolutely insane. So I have a weird feeling that it could be sometime next week. I mean, they need a spark, and who better to do that than the number one prospect in Major League Baseball?
Yeah. I don't know why Anthony's not up. It seems to me he has every bit of being ready. I'm not going to go in depth about this. I have him in a couple dynasty leagues. I selfishly want him up, but he looks all the part to be a Major League Baseball player in the everyday situation for Boston right now.
And real quick, just add on top of what Ethan was saying, but just how hard he hits the ball. I mean, in AAA right now, his max EV this year is 116. His 90th percentile exit velocity is 109.6 right now. That's 100th percentile in AAA.
Yeah. I mean, there was a point where Roman Anthony had the highest barrel rate in all of baseball across all levels of Major League Baseball. So, and I will say to the point about the Red Sox, Roman Anthony is really keen on his development. He wants to be the best possible player that he can be before he gets the call. And like, I get that to an extent, but I would much rather him right now develop at the Major League level. Like, I mean, what more development do you need to see after a guy hit the farthest home run in baseball this year? It was absolutely insane. And he seems like an unbelievable dude too. I saw him at this spring breakout game. There was a bunch of fans going down the right field line and trying to get autographs. He went down and signed all the Bowman first cards that he had. So I think he's a great guy. He's an unbelievable baseball player, and the Red Sox need a guy that can provide a spark. And I mean, like I said, number one prospect of baseball, just hit a 500-foot grand slam.
And with the barrel rate thing too, like it's 20.4% barrel rate, which it leads all of AAA. That would be fifth in baseball, tied with Pete Alonso right now. Like the only people with higher barrel rates than that are Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, and O'Neal Cruz.
I mean, yeah, it's actually unbelievable. I mean, the only other guy that was kind of on his level in terms of hitting the ball that hard was Jack Caglione, and he just got the call, a week ago. So, yeah, he needs to be up for the Red Sox.
Yeah. Didn't Caglione go 4 for 4 today? Did I see that right?
Dude, he went 4 for 4 with I think 4 hard hits. It was like 100, 101, 112 or 113 and 90 something. Yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous what he's able. Like next year, Jack Caglione's gonna be fucking insane.
It seems like a Caglione too. It seems like he hits the shit out of the ball, or he hits like a 40 mph. Like it just there's no in between.
Yeah, yeah. No, Jack Caglione next year with the Royals is just gonna be, I mean, just kind of unbelievable. But yeah, it's just getting exhausting talking about Roman Anthony like every single week, and it's like, when is this guy going to get the call? And like I said, it probably won't happen next week, but like I just have a weird feeling of they need a spark. He's been unbelievable. He just had, I mean, a viral moment yesterday. What more does he really need to prove at this point? He's an insanely gifted hitter.
Yeah. And um we're super excited for the young bats and especially the Roman Anthony's of the world to kind of get the call. Um, do want to pivot, change course a little bit. We do got to talk about probably the biggest news of baseball that happened this week. And this isn't news to anyone who's a real fan, but it is something we're gonna have to talk about. Corbin Burns getting Tommy John. I don't know if he got the surgery yet today. Obviously, the sooner the better if he didn't. But Corbin Burns was a big time acquisition um, from this season, this offseason. And it was noted that Baltimore, they made him an offer. They couldn't keep up with the Diamondbacks offer, especially with what he was wanting to do and be close to family. This is devastating news, guys, to Arizona. And I'll start off with this one. You guys can comment, but right now, to me, like Arizona is currently in fourth place. They're going to finish fourth. They're going to finish fourth in the division. The Rockies are staying where they're at. They're not climbing, and like it's crazy how the NL West, which arguably has like one of the more fun playoff races to watch, with their top three teams being the Giants, Padres, and Dodgers. um, Two teams have already kind of eliminated themselves. And I know that's a crazy hot take, being 3 games below 500 with almost 2/3 of the season left to play for Arizona. But Arizona's pitching department, to me, unless they sign or and they can't even sign unless they trade for someone, like Sandy Alcantara esque at the deadline, and he suddenly has a resurgence because he's been playing terribly. I think the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be out of it. They're going to lose games to like the top three teams in their division. Um, they don't have Corbin Burns anymore. And am I a doomsday person here, or are you guys on the same boat with me? Like this injury is that bad, Arizona.
I don't think that's doomsday at all. Because the thing I was gonna say is the Diamondbacks might be sellers now. I know they're a really good team, and Easton's talked about how they're playing their worst baseball they're gonna play all year. But you lose Corbin Burns, you lose an ace there. Zach Gallen's been awful for his standards. He's been one of the worst pitchers. I think he's fifth worst qualified ERA in Major League Baseball. If you look to the Diamondbacks, like they're 31 and 34. They're 6 games out of the wild card right now. They're behind the Reds. They're behind the Reds right now. And if you look, they're 17 and 24 against teams about 500. I just don't think this is the Diamondbacks' year. Obviously, they can turn it around, but negative 18 run differential. They got to. I wouldn't be surprised if they sell. I mean, because you have Merrill Kelly and Gallen are both going to be free agents after next year, or after this year. Gino's going to be a free agent. Naylor's gonna be a free agent. You have a lot of guys that you could trade and get a good return for, and build for next year too. And then I also just wonder too for next year is what this rotation is going to look like, because it seemed like when they signed Burns that you were going to move on from Gallen. You weren't going to keep both of them. It seemed like, and now you're going to have Kelly's going to be a free agent. It just how is this team going to look rotation wise going forward? Because you're still paying Jordan Montgomery as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of just eat my words from the last 2 weeks. I'll always be a believer in the Diamondbacks, but once the Corbin Burns news happened, I mean, I think the ship has just kind of sailed at this point. Yeah, I think great shout out on the Gallen thing. I mean, definitely surprising for me of how poorly he's been. But yeah, he's been, I think, one of the worst qualified pitchers in Major League Baseball. And Brandon Pfaadt, who I thought would have been very, very solid this year, I think has the second worst qualified ERA in Major League Baseball. When those two guys aren't performing, Merrill Kelly has had a really good start, I think, his last time out. But if you're not getting those two guys stepping up, and Zach Gallen, we know at points could be a top 10, top 15 pitcher in baseball. He's shown it multiple years. Uh, you just kind of have to be, out at this point. What does the team look like next year? Do they ship some guys out and let Jordan Lawler maybe play in the second half and really just get some full time development? He's had a couple MLB stints, but nothing. I mean, the results have not been there. I don't even think he's had a single extra base hit at the MLB level. Um, I mean, yeah, I'm out on the Diamondbacks. I don't think it's a hot take right now when you have two guys in the rotation that were, Zach Gallen's supposed to be an ace. Brandon Pfaadt was supposed to be one of the best 4 or 5 starters in Major League Baseball, and he's just hasn't been good. The bullpen still has issues. The offense is always going to bang, but I mean, like what we're seeing with a team like the Orioles, I think the Orioles have been very poor this year, and a lot of it has to do with starting pitching. You can only be so good, but if your pitching is not there, it's really hard to stay in ball games.
Yeah, and that's the big issue for me. It was never the offense of the Diamondbacks. We know with guys like Carroll and Ketel Marte, Naylor, amongst others, like Lord Gurriel Jr. is a fantastic ball player. They're deep. They have more talent than a lot of teams. It's just the division's too damn hard, and their pitching's not there. Bottom line. So let me jump from them. Let's jump over to the east side of the country in the National League. Let's jump to the Phillies. We haven't really talked about them in depth this year. Like we highlight them, but we don't like really talk about the Phillies. And shame on us because they're awesome, but we also don't have like a Phillies allocated guy at all amongst us. And we're if you're out there and you're listening, and you're a Phillies person and you want to get into baseball content, you're dedicated. Let us know. But yeah, Philly, they Bryce Harper, he now lands on the IL with wrist inflammation. He played through this for a while, according to the manager Rob Thompson, but it sounds like it's been bothering him. And the other thing I want to note, Hayden just brought it up to me before the show started. Hayden, you said Philly got swept right this week, right? Their last
Correct.
two
They
games.
got swept by the Pirates, and they lost every game by 1 run. As a Mets fan, I can't lie. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That is pretty
it's
funny.
kind of like what the San Francisco Giants, that the manhandling that they fucking had on the Braves this weekend too.
That's music to my ears. The Phillies and the Braves
Yeah,
get swept.
you being a Mets fan, you've had an unbelievable weekend, Hagen. I mean, you can't even lie. I mean, you could just see it on your face. Um, I think the Phillies are great. I mean, I don't think there's a single person that follows the game of baseball that doesn't think the Phillies are a great baseball team. I'm a big just prove it guy. They've had deep playoff runs, but they don't have a title to really show for it. I think really depending on what they're going to do, this could be like their final big year. I just want them to get Luis Robert. I really do. I want the Rays to get Luis Robert. I don't think obviously that's going to happen, but if the Phillies can make a big move, get a solidified outfielder, and kind of bolster their offense more than it already is, I think that would kind of put them over the edge. But also another thing too, Jesus Luzardo has looked pretty bad his last 3 starts. I think that's kind of concerning. I mean, obviously regression was going to be there. He wasn't going to be like a top 3 pitcher in the NL, but I think the Phillies are a great team. They'll obviously be in the playoffs. They'll probably have a deep playoff run, but like I feel like a World Series title has to be like kind of shown at this point. They have one of the most talented rosters in Major League Baseball. They added Jesus Luzardo, who has still been a phenomenal pitcher this year, and they have Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez, Christopher Sanchez. The list goes on and on. Andrew Painter, who's just chilling in AAA right now. So I'm a big prove it guy for the Phillies this year, and I hope they prove me wrong, but I just think there's better teams in the National League.
Yeah. Josh Chisholm just hit a sack fly, 7-4 Boston, still leading on Sunday Night Baseball. Go tune into that game while you're listening. Um, yeah, but Philly, let's see what goes on with them. I'm curious to see how they play out. I'm 100% with you on this, Ethan. Not that I'm not with you, Hagen, but I'm a big prove it guy as well. My friends think I'm toxic because with Purdue basketball, for instance, like I don't care that we win the Big Ten conference. That's welcome. That and $5 gets you a bus ticket. I don't think it's cool. You can only have so many times. Oh, like imagine if you rooted for your team, Hagen. Let's say the Mets or the Rays, Ethan. A little different in your situation, Ethan. Just the Rays, like the AL East is a very, very tough division to win. Imagine you just hung up every argument on how many division titles you've won. Never World
No,
Series.
and I agree
I
with
don't think
Tony
I'd have an
too. Like,
argument for anything.
That's my
I think
point.
it's
It's
I
just
think
like
it's a given for what the Phillies like. The Phillies going into this year and last year and the year before, they're a playoff team. It's almost like, not the same level as the Dodgers, or you could even say maybe even the Yankees this year, but it's a given that the Phillies are going to be in the playoffs, right?
Mhm.
But and they know that going in, but you have to show it. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
If they get a guy like Luis Robert, or they add, I understand there's injuries to the rotation. If they add someone that like really puts them over the top this year, I'll be sold. I'm just not there yet. And I know even in people in Skippers who thought I was crazy for thinking that going into this year, and they're still a fantastic team. I just like, for some reason, I just don't see it. Their core is aging. Like I said, it's probably going to be the final, I guess, hoorah, maybe, if they re-sign Schwarber and Real Muto and all these other guys. But I'm just not there yet, man. And same thing with the bullpen. Jose Alvarado went down. Orion Kirkring's been kind of shaky. Jordan Romano hasn't been like, I'm
Jeff
just not
Hoffman's
there.
in
I'm
Toronto
really
now.
not there.
Yeah.
I feel like with Philly, like as a Mets fan, this might come back to bite me in the ass, but like I'm at the point now. I'm not really scared of Philly or Atlanta in the division by any means. Like, and I know it's easy to say that we're playing some very good ball, but I just,
Dangerous
I just think the Mets
Words.
are a better team than both of them. But I look at Philly and I love Philly's roster. And like you're talking about Luzardo, I mean, he has 20 earned runs in his last 5.2 innings pitched, which is, I think, set an MLB record. But the Phillies, I think they're going to go out there. They got to go get high leverage on. I think they have to get arguably even two, you could say.
Go out and
And
get Ryan
I
Helsley.
trust, yeah, and I trust that they will, because Dave Dombrowski, he's like an AJ Preller, where it's like if he has a need, he's going to go out there and get it. So I trust him. That's the only thing I think. I like the Phillies, and I feel good about them, and I think their roster is also just built for October. Like I feel way better. Like I'm not really scared about the Phillies playing them in the regular season, but it's like playing them in the postseason, I'm getting a little scared. I mean, you get Wheeler on the mound in the bank, like that's terrifying.
You're done. You're done.
Unless it's against the Mets.
To your point too, like, I'm not saying like they by no means haven't really choked. I mean, I would say
Yeah.
kind of last year to the Mets, like the Mets just were playing really, really good baseball. And their offense, I mean, Bryce Harper in the playoffs is legitimately one of the best postseason hitters ever. Kyle Schwarber is Kyle Schwarber. You have Trey Turner, you have JT Realmuto. I understand Philly fans have been going nuts about Brandon Marsh this year. He's still a good baseball player when it comes down to it. Like I just have to see it. That's kind of where I'm just at with the Phillies now. We know you're gonna make it to October. Are you gonna really like win it all this year? That's just where I'm at with them.
I mean, didn't they go? They made the World Series and then they didn't win it, and it felt like, oh yeah, Philly's going to get a. I feel like they're the next team that like they're going to win the World Series in this window,
100%.
and then I think they went NLCS after that, NLDS, and now we're here, and it's like obviously they're still one of the five best teams, six best teams in Major League Baseball. Like we're talking, but just it's going to feel weird like if that Phillies roster doesn't win a World Series because like you said too, they just can't hold her, man. Like I know. Your best player is Bryce Harper, but he's what, 34 now? 33 now?
Trey Turner's not getting any younger. Kyle Schwarber's not
Real
getting
Muto looks a little cooked, just like he's not that good of a hitter anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely negative on the Phillies. I'll kind of admit to that, but it's just like a team where I kind of just it's almost like a Dodgers to me kind of thing. The roster is stacked and the Dodgers get talked about all the time. And until they did win their world championship, it was like, okay, you have the division titles, you have all the names, you have the accolades and stuff like that. I need to see the world championship. And the Phillies, the last 2 years, I would say, going into the year, were like most people's favorites or dark horse World Series winning. I feel like that was very common that I saw across social media was this is the Phillies year. This is like their final kind of year with their core that's not getting any younger. And maybe it could be this year. Hopefully, maybe people screen record it and they post this and we're incredibly wrong. I just don't see it. I don't.
Now, I can go on for days about like why I agree with Ethan on this. I'm just like I am miserable when it comes to it. And maybe it's my my Yankees fanhood that has led me to that, where it's like championship or bust. And same with I'm a big Packers fan as well. And for them, like I get like Packers win every year. They don't win the Super Bowl enough, even though they have two in my lifetime. That's pretty good. But we'll move on. We'll move on. Don't want to bring up other sports here. J Rod, he avoids a serious ankle injury. So Seattle needed this, like they needed a nail in the head right now. He got hit with I think it was a 98 mile an hour throw running the third base. Yeah, and J Rod's been like pretty good this season. He hasn't been like what we know he can be, but I think he's been much better. And fact check me, like compared to his other starts the last couple of years, he's been better than those starts thus far in 2025. But he's still not batting what we want to see, in those high 280s areas. But I'm glad to see Julio Rodriguez did not get seriously injured. Did you guys see that play?
Yeah,
I
he
don't know.
yeah, he got drilled by a line drive. Yeah, I mean, I think J Rod coming in today was like a 113 or 115 WRC plus.
116.
Yeah, so pretty honestly, I pretty close. Um, I think J Rod maybe next year is the year where he's like not the second half like demon where he just really turns it on, kind of like June Schwarber, but I don't know. I just think Julio Rodriguez's best season is still ahead of him at this point. Like he's going to put up a season, maybe next year or the following year, where he's just consistent the entire year. And not a lot of people are really even talking about it. I think Julio Rodriguez at this point is like a cakewalk to a Hall of Famer. If you look at his WAR for his age and guys that were on similar paths, it's like extremely comparable. If Julio Rodriguez averages a 5 to 6 WAR every year, which I mean, I think he has 2 right now, and he will probably go nuts in the second half. Easily another 5 WAR season. I think this is easily a Hall of Fame player, and he's not even, I don't even think 24 or 25 years old. He's an unbelievable talent, and I think this is a guy over the course of his career that's only going to continue to get better. I don't think he's going to be a first half guy his entire Major League Baseball career.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 24-year-old for this entire season, too. And if you just look to, like, normally it's July is kind of the month. If you just look at his WRC pluses by month per season, it's July is typically the month he starts to get things going. But for whatever reason, if it just takes him 300 at bats to finally lock in or whatever, I don't really know. But he was my AL MVP pick coming into the year. I kind of an idiot to not pick Judge for what he's doing, but I thought this was going to be the year that Julio just gets rid of that. He's a second half merchant. Like he doesn't, because I thought it was just a narrative that was just not going to stick. I just thought it was something that got thrown around too much, but obviously it's still there a little bit this year. I know a 116 WRC plus is still good, but like for Julio, we know he needs to be a 130, 140 type of guy.
I think he could easily be a 150 or 160 guy. Like I said, I think his best seasons are way ahead of him. Like this guy is going to be simply, I mean, unbelievable. And I mean, we've seen it like 23, 32 bombs, 103 RBIs. Like, and honestly, will say I am surprised with the first half he's put up because the last 3 or 4 years we've only seen, I would say, very, very above average production in the second half. But if he can go on a tear of like, I don't know, a solid week before the All-Star break with 4 or 5 home runs, and he pops another, 15 or 17 in the second half, I mean, he could definitely repeat to an extent the home run production that getting in center field too and on the bases. I mean, this is just simply one of the most dynamic players in Major League Baseball, and I think be crazy. I think Julio Rodriguez at this point is getting underrated.
Dude, I 100% agree with you. I have a lot of Julio Rodriguez rookie cards stocked up. I've been thinking he's going to be a Hall of Famer from his first season. And people are like, oh, like it's easy to say that 4 years later. He had a 6.2 WAR in his rookie year and looked nothing but the part. He was also the pedigree of what the talent level was there, and everyone thought it based off his prospect ranking. The only difference is he's been putting up ridiculous numbers ever since his career. He's already in 3 steals. He'll have 100 career steals, 10 more home runs. He'll have 100 career RBIs. I mean, 100 career home runs. He's almost at 300 career RBIs already. Like, and he's got 145 career walks. with a 275 batting average, essentially. Like, he is a great player. He's just going to rack up stats. I don't know if he'll ever. I hope he has a few years where he's like the best player in the league. But I think he's going to consistently finish as like a top 15 player for the next 10 years. He's that good. And defensively, he's really good in center field. Um, yeah, but thank God to see that he avoided that serious injury. Houston right now is still climbing in the division as they have a 2.5 game lead on Seattle. So Seattle, they need to go get a bat. They need to go get a couple more arms. Maybe a bullpen arm and maybe a short-term starter while they're dealing with some injuries. But they need a bat or two, and I think they can really be a contender this year.
And real quick, while we're on the topic of Seattle, Logan Gilbert's coming back soon.
He is. I know that's exciting stuff. Do we? You know the date for Logan Gilbert coming back off the top of your head or no?
I know I believe he just made a start on Thursday for rehab, but I think they were going to go one more. I think he was around 50 pitches around there, so a week or two, I think, is what they're aiming for.
Gotcha. Okay. Um. Well, we'll tune in for that. I think Ethan had a drop. Something happened with his.
You're
That
on
was
mute.
wild. Yeah, that was wild. My YouTube, I have the Yankee Red Sox game up here for updates as we go through, and I just started playing. But Ethan lost his Wi-Fi. Don't know what's going on. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep moving. So we got who is the biggest surprise for 2025? We're gonna do a player and then a team. So, hey, who's your 2025 biggest surprise as a player so far?
I wanted to go Griffin Canning here. He's the Mets, but I already talked about the Mets a lot here, so I want to go Geraldo Perdomo here. I mean, he's been really good so far for the Diamondbacks this year. He's one of the best players in all of baseball. I mean, he's up there with. I mean, the OPS doesn't really scream up there too high, but if you just look at his WAR, I know I don't want to sound like a WAR nerd and all that, but he's playing great defense this year for him, and he's playing a great shortstop. I mean, he's up there with has an argument to start the All-Star game over Lindor. I know Lindor's the clear starter, but he's got a good argument to be up there to start the game for him. He's cut the strikeout rate by 3%. He's walking like 3% more. I mean, he's just playing amazing this year. I know his peripherals aren't phenomenal just for how hard he hits the ball and stuff like that, but I mean, he still plays great defense. I mean, 78th percentile in fielding run value. He's 86th percentile in batting run value. He's just been a great player this year, and I think he was part of this Diamondbacks offense, and kind of just I don't think anyone really saw this coming. I never really thought Geraldo Perdomo was that good of a player. I mean, he's got 2.6 WAR this year. His career high was 2.3 last year, so he's already at the career high in WAR, whatever 60 games into the year.
Yeah, Perdomo is a great call out here. As you can see, 780 OPS, 7 bombs, 43 RBIs, 11 stolen bases. He's really stepping up for Arizona, and he's definitely a guy that I think is more of the hey, he's doing it now back to back years of being solid, and I think that's the kudos. Ethan, I'm gonna wait if he's able to join back, but my guy who I'm gonna go with as a surprise is Detroit's Spencer Torkelson. I think Torkelson is having a massive year. And it's not just the numbers. It's the fact that this guy got sent down last year for a long period amount of time to triple and double A or wherever he was at because he was terrible. This year, 842 OPS. He's batting 240, 15 bombs, 45 ribbies. He's everything and more that Detroit could have ever wanted for this first base position out of Torkelson. They needed him to step up right away, as this is a youth and pitching movement. Obviously, you're going to have guys in a couple of years that are request a lot of money. Like, obviously, get the Baez money back at some point. But Riley Green, probably going to get a lot of money. Tarek Skubal, I don't know his contract off the top of my head. I'm assuming he's going to be a fortune.
Yeah, he's got one more year of ARB left.
Yeah, he's going to be a fortune. They have Jackson Jobe in the pipeline right now. If things pan out the way people think that they're going to pan out with Jackson Jobe, he's going to be a fortune. You have and that's not even including. I don't know what Kerry Carpenter's deal with, but if he keeps hitting, there's no reason why they can't they shouldn't pay him. So just a lot of guys to pay coming up, and you needed a guy like Spencer Torkelson to step up now. their opportunity to win, I think, is over the next few years. While you retain Scuball, while you have Job, and while you have Casey Mize, the bullpen's been solid, and it seems like Detroit's pitching development has been doing really well. So really good to see. Cool stuff for Spencer Torkelson. That being said, Ethan's not here. I'm just going to shout him out for him. So Ethan wanted to go with a little player that the Kansas City Royals refer to as Michael Garcia. Michael Garcia this year, 862 OPS on the year, 7 bombs, 31 ribbies, 13 stolen bases, and he's batting 312. My goodness, Michael Garcia is having a great year. And just because Kansas City, they're not the electric team that they were last year, at least not yet. They're still a couple games above 500, but they're not what they were last year. And people like to talk about Bobby Witt, but Michael Garcia is holding it down. And if you figure with the insertion of Caglione, and I saw Pasquantino went yard this weekend, if they all put it together and they are able to get a cheap outfielder, and when I say cheap, I just mean like someone that the Royals can virtually afford at the deadline, and whether that's trading for Cedric Mullins, whether that's trading for Luis Robert Jr., if they get another power bat like that in the outfield, dude, I think the Royals are going to be a really good ball club. Like,
And with how bad their outfield has been, you don't even need someone who's good. Like they have had like 2 of the worst players in all of Major League Baseball this year playing every day for them in the outfield. With Renfro and I think Michael Massey, even MG Melendez hasn't not been very good. Like it's just they just need anyone who can decently hit the ball to play outfield for them.
yeah. Royals though, they we've seen it. Chris Bubich has been a dog this year. Cole Reagan just got back from IL. Who knows? Who knows what the Royals are going to be able to do? Yeah, Ethan, his Wi-Fi went out. I don't think he's coming back. But we'll keep going. We'll keep going down this. One surprise team for both of us. So Hagen, I'll let you start off. Who's your team? I'm just going to open up the standings.
This is a frustrating one to me because my World Series pick coming into the year was the Atlanta Braves over the Boston Red Sox. Both teams have been disappointing, but mainly the Atlanta Braves. They got Ronald Acuna and Spencer Strider back. Spencer Strider's stuff's just not that great anymore. Like it just the velo's. I know he's coming off of an internal brace, so I'm not going to take any conclusions away from that. He's still look forward to next year, really take a real conclusion. But even before this year, Spencer Strider, his velo went down 3 years in a row before this year. He's not the dude who throws 98, sits 98 anymore. He sits 95 now. That's a big difference too. And just the Braves as a team, since they got Acuna and Strider back, they're 3-12, and that's with Acuna killing it. He's like a 170, 180 WRC plus. But this Braves team is they just find new ways to lose every single day. I mean, again, they're 15-23 against teams above 500. Like, they have a +3 run differential. Funny enough, though, they're 2-8 in the last 10. They're 9.5 back of the wild card. Not even the division of the wild card. They're 9.5 back. I know on this show a lot. I've always said all season, it seems like every episode, that the Braves are going to be fine. They're going to turn it around. I'm officially out on the Atlanta Braves this year. They're too frustrating of a team for me to watch. I'm not just saying that 'cause I'm a Mets fan or anything like that. Just I think they're the second most talented team in Major League Baseball. I'm just out on it. I just think they're not great. I mean, even betting sites have them as like -300, -400 to miss the playoffs this year, and I just can't get on board with the Braves team. That is just you turn on a game and you turn it off after an inning. That's how bad they are. It seems like.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna go with the Rangers. I was thinking about this pre the episode. I was between the Rangers and the Twins. Twins are they're too boring. Rangers, I'm really disappointed in. I like they're 4 games below 500. They won a World Series 2 years ago. They had all this good news going around them between Langford, Seager, Simeon, Young, Adolis Garcia, Leota Tavares at the time. Is he still there? I don't even know. But point is, like, the roster was loaded, and DeGrom's been great. I just figured that Nathan Eovaldi, I know he just went down, but and Tyler Mahley's been pretty good. if not like the one of the biggest surprises in baseball this year. I just included him on my top 5 arms who have impressed this year. I just don't get how the Rangers are still this bad. Um, I don't really know. I don't know. It is frustrating though.
Yeah, just the offense is so underwhelming. I know Marcus Simeon's a big part of it. He's been just bad this year. I know the last 2 weeks he's really picked it up. Like, I think he's already improved his batting average. Like, I'm not a huge batting average guy, but he's improved that by like 30 points, I believe, in the last like 2 weeks or so, week or so. But they're just Corey Seager seems to be on the injured list, and then he comes home, plays 10 games, then he gets hurt again. It seems like the same thing with Corey Seager. That's just who he is now. And when he plays MVP level baseball. He's never on the field for a full even 150 games. And just this offense is just Wyatt Langford. He's done really really good this year. I don't think he took the MVP caliber step that all people expected. Granted, he's still, I believe, one of the 10 youngest players from Major League Baseball this year, so he's had a long time to do so. But this offense has just not been good at all. And to your point, too, like the pitching, DeGrom's pitching at the Cy Young level. Molly, he's been one of the biggest surprises in all of baseball this year. Of all these things too, Leiter's looked pretty good. I mean, Patrick Corbin, even he was another surprising guy too. Who's pitching really really good for him this year.
Yeah. For sure, for sure, for sure. Sorry, I'm just getting sidetracked here with figuring out what else we need to talk about. Um, let's keep moving forward down though. We got the AL East. We talked about Ramon Anthony getting called up. Let's show the standings real quick. I'm gonna run through these pretty quickly. We are getting deeper and deeper though, where your record means a lot more than it did, a couple weeks ago. Yankees still controlling the AL East. They're 5 games up on the Rays this time, which I wish Ethan were here to talk about the Rays a little bit. The Rays pitching, in the Rays pitching, we trust. They are always great at putting together, a rotation and a bullpen that is going to make you competitive in every game. Now they got, a little player they like to call Junior Caminero, who's been lights out. Brandon Lowe's having a solid year. Josh Lowe, I think, is really going to start to pick things up. Not that he's been bad or anything like that, but he was a great player 2 years ago. He dealt with an oblique injury, like a serious one. He was out a lot of time last year. He's got to get back into form. Toronto, they're playing lights out. I think I saw some like a stat that was showing that across the month of May they had played at 100 win pace. So Toronto is actually playing really well. Boston, we know the story there, and Baltimore has been terrible. And like, I love that none of us called out Baltimore, by the way, as the surprise team. We kind of feel bad for we dunk on them a lot on this show. I think recently.
I don't even want to talk about Baltimore. I mean, granted, they have done really good the last like week and a half. They've really started turning their season around, trying to get that Mets run from last year, that Tigers thing too. But Baltimore, I think it got to a point where just me or you did not want to talk about them anymore.
No, for sure. Let's jump to the Central though. I'm not Tigers again. They're controlling this division. Odds are they're going to win it. They're 7 games above everyone. Not that things can't change, but Tigers have been great. Minnesota's been 5 games above 500. They're now 7 games back. Cleveland 7.5 games back, 34-30. I think that Cleveland has a few more cards to pull up their sleeves than Minnesota. I don't know if you saw this. Chase DeLauder, he might get the call here soon for Cleveland, and they could use him. Shane Bieber, he'll be back around the All-Star break. And who knows what Cleveland does at the deadline. If they make a small trade or you never know what they're going to do. So I'm intrigued by them. Kansas City, I want to see Reagans and Bubich and Caglione and Michael Garcia and Pasquantino and Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez. If you get what I'm saying, they have the pieces, Kansas City. I just want to see them all click at the same time for a month or two. I think this team could become much, much better. And the White Sox, the big news with the White Sox this week, actually, there is a couple things we can comment on. So one, Justin Ishbia reaches a deal to acquire a controlling stake in the White Sox. So this is pretty interesting news. I know that Chicago fans, I lived there for 4 years. No one is happy with Jerry Reinsdorf. They want him out. They want him out. This is music to their ears. They made all the trades. They got the prospects, and we're going to transition here for Chicago. This is big news for them. This is good news, especially if I'm sorry, I forgot the name again. Justin Ishbia is a good owner, and we'll see how that plays out. But the big news is they also, from one of their trades, they promoted Kyle Teal to the majors this week. So Teal's the 26 overall prospect according to MLB Pipeline. He hit 295 with 8 homers and 30 RBIs in 50 games with Charlotte this year. Guys, any hot take on Kyle Teal? Any big opinion on there?
Honestly, not really none for me. I'm not a huge prospect guy. I admittedly don't. I don't know if I've ever looked into Kyle Teal once.
So Kyle Teal is part of the big four for
Yeah,
Boston when they had Campbell, Meyer, Anthony, and Teal. Obviously, they
like,
still have three of
I
them.
know who he is. I just never really looked into his profile or anything like that.
Gotcha. Ethan, any strong take on Teal? Do you think he's going to be a solid MLB player?
Yeah, and I would even say going into like this offseason, Teal was like kind of underrated and getting slept on. I know he had a lot of hype like a year ago, and for good reason. I mean, the bat is certainly there, but I mean, I think all around like Kyle Teal has upside to be like a top 12-ish catcher, maybe like going into next season, and I think he could solidify himself as a top 10 guy pretty soon. Um, the bat, I think, definitely plays. Like he's shown plus power. His WRC plus in the minors has been, I think, above like 120 or 130 in most years. And I think just over the course of his development, he'll just continue to add power to his swing. He's got a great swing from the left side. And we saw it in his first major league hit going to left center field. And he actually threw a run around as well. So, yeah, Kyle Teal has all the tools to become one of the best catchers in Major League Baseball, in my opinion.
No, good take. Love that. Thank you, Ethan. Let's jump to the AL West. So I just highlighted on my team that I'm surprised by this year was the Rangers. I'm not going to go into depth here in this. Guys, anything big? Like, we talked about Seattle. They're getting Gilbert back. Julio avoided injury. We talked about the Rangers. They're disappointing right now. The Angels are kind of, I feel like, where they're supposed to be. They got talent, they got spots, but they're not overall a functionally great team. And I don't know if they'll finish 500 or not. I doubt it. But maybe, who knows? And then the Athletics have been really disappointing. So outside the Astros, are there any big call outs right now on the AL West from either of you two?
Uh, I mean, just real quick, I got to shout out my boy Jacob Wilson. I mean, this guy over his last 30 games is sitting over 400, which is absolutely unbelievable. And Jacob Wilson has, I would even say, solidified himself as a top 20 hitter in Major League Baseball already. The bat to ball skills, I don't even think this is a hyperbole at this point. It's legitimately the Luis Arias like. I was looking into it the other day. Jacob Wilson had a 7.6% whiff rate, not K rate, whiff rate on fastballs. There was a point where Jacob Wilson swung and missed at 2 fastballs that he saw in his major league career. It's unbelievable. And there were so many guys. I'm not even going to go into the names or the words that I'll use that didn't think Jacob Wilson would be good because of the power numbers. Dude, this guy is going to naturally develop power over the course of his career. He has a great swing. He's able to recognize all pitch types. He goes to all over the field. He's a good defender. He's a good base runner. Jacob Wilson is legitimately right now one of the best players in Major League Baseball. And I know we talk about Aaron Judge running away with the MVP. Dude, Jacob Wilson, in my opinion, has already won the AL MVP. I don't even think there's really anyone in the stratosphere of what Jacob Wilson is doing on the baseball field. It's
Rookie of
it's
the year.
I would say so. I don't even think it's really close. I mean, I think he's running away with the AL Rookie of the Year like Judge is running away with the MVP right now.
100%. I don't really think there's any. I don't really know if there's anyone I would really take over Jacob Wilson. Even think about it honestly. And even to it's like almost like he's a Luis Arias type, where maybe he has a slightly less bat to ball skill, but he's still the elite type of bat. But he can like slug a little more too, and he actually can play like defense. Like it's not Luis Arias who's going to be an awful defender, or it has to be a DH. Like he can play a fine shortstop out there.
100%. I mean, hitting, I think it was like 420 something over his last 30 games. And I know everyone's looking at his ex Woba, and I understand it's like a huge difference. But I mean, dude, this guy hits the ball all over the field. And yeah, like the EVs and the bat speed, like, isn't the best. But like, I mean, he's just a pure hitter. This is a guy that to start his minor league career was one of the best minor league players of all time. I think he hit like 440 or 450. Like it's absolutely unbelievable. And he's translated almost all of it to the major league level and is even added some power too. And like I said, this guy is going to add power over the course of his career. No question about it with how good his bat to ball skills are.
Dude, God damn it. The Red Sox just hit another bomb. So the score's 8-5 for anyone watching Boston, New York right now. Abraham Toro just went yard on the ways ago.
Abraham
he's
Toro
having a good season.
Yeah.
He's hitting like 320 yesterday.
Dude, yeah, I saw in the lineup yesterday. I was like, no way we're doing Abraham Toro in the lineup, dude. And then I saw his number and I was like, holy shit. Okay, maybe we are doing this.
Bro. He's cooking. Shout out Astros legend and I think Mariners legend too, Abraham Toro. But yeah, I mean, same thing. When I was watching the game, I was like, I couldn't even believe those numbers. I didn't even think it was like the same dude. I was like, I mean, he's been unbelievable. 5 home runs and I think he's hitting well over 300 now. I mean, granted, it's probably not that many plate appearances, but still, like it's pretty good production from a guy that you didn't think would be hitting over 320 at this course of the season.
I mean, if you were going to say you get a 130 WRC plus at Abraham Toro, 80 plate appearances in, I don't think anyone on earth would have believed that.
No, well, good for Boston though. As much as I know you guys were talking about the Rays when my mom thought it was a good idea to unplug the stuff in the back of the TV, and that also included the router. So that was a fantastic move by my mom. But yeah, as much as I love the Rays doing well too, like I mean, I love the Boston Red Sox too. Like they're a well-run baseball club. I like all their guys. I love Roman Anthony, and he'll get the call soon. But I mean, good for the Red Sox to kind of play some good games against the Yankees.
I think they just went back-to-back home runs. I think Trevor Story just hit a home run that a fan put his palm out for. It hit his palm on the top of the home run wall and then fell back into play. And Judge tried to throw it in like a ground rule double, but it was gone.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the Cutter is King post on Aaron Judge trying to throw the ball back and play.
Yeah,
like it wasn't like I think he was just playing it as he saw it, but like the fan, yeah, it's clearly a home run. The fan tried to keep the ball in the stadium. Like you'll see the play on X as it comes out, but
no, I mean, like we were saying, I mean, Trevor Story's been dogging it, but dude, like if he can start to kind of pick it up until Alex Bregman can come back. That would be huge for the Red Sox. And I know like he's not going to be the same player. I don't think anyone even coming into the season was thinking that. But to his credit and to the Red Sox credit, like this guy is getting used to playing Major League Baseball every day again. Like he's been out a long time, like consistently a long time. Hasn't been a consistent, on-field guy for I think almost 3 years now. So it's a lot to get back into the swing and things, especially playing baseball at the highest level. So hopefully to all of us, I think, hopefully Trevor Story just starts to really pick it up.
There's a supervisor talking to the fan now. I wonder what she's saying to him. Like, this is what you like. If you're a fan, you're supposed to do is like, oh, I want to keep this in the field and let it be a ground rule double instead of what they did in the World Series this year. That, oh my God, but that's wild. We'll jump to the NL East. So, hey, I'm going to let you jump in as I'm watching Sunday Night Baseball here. Let's start with the Mets. That they're obviously they're still controlling the East. Philly just got swept by the Pirates for 3 games. Braves also got swept 3 games. They're 14 games back. What's your biggest take this week from the NL East? You're living on cloud 9 being a Mets fan this week.
Yeah, it timed up perfectly that when they get swept, we get to play the Rockies and you almost get a free series in that. I mean, it was batting practice today against the Rockies, and you feel just bad for them. But the Mets right now, I know they're playing some really good baseball, but the best days are ahead of them, man. I mean, Shamanaya is starting rehab. That was our ace last year. When he changed his arm slot down, I'm not saying he's going to be a 2.70 ERA guy when he comes back, but he was one of the best players in Major League Baseball when he dropped that arm slot down last year through half a season. You're going to get him back. Frankie Montas, I know he's not been great in rehab, but he didn't have a spring training at all. He's still trying to get his feet underneath him a little bit. Mets fans are a little pissed off at him, but, dude, this is a guy, like, at this point, David Stearns gives a dude $17 million.
Montas a AAA start.
Yeah, they should just – if David Stearns is giving a guy $17 million, just – let him get like 10 starts in before you start getting pissed off at a dude. Don't get pissed off at 3 innings of a AAA outing when he hasn't hit 7 months. Like, it blows my mind. But the Mets are still the best days ahead of him. Jose Siri, he's going to get back here pretty soon maybe. He's already doing some stuff with the team. He's traveling with the team again. Jesse Winker is going to be about a month away. I mean, then you're going to get to the deadline too, and you're going to add a bullpen arm here. But I think the Mets' best baseball's ahead of them. I know I just said I was out in the Atlanta Braves. Their best baseball's ahead of them too. And I think you could argue that too with the Phillies because I think they're going to go out there and add the deadline. But I think the Mets could just really run away with this lead right now. I think the Braves are for sure just looking at the wild card spot now at this point in the season. It's just between the Mets and the Phillies really in this division now.
Dude, 14 games back in the division is wild.
The Atlanta Braves, bro.
Unless you're a hardcore like Braves hater, no one following baseball thought the Atlanta Braves would be 14 games back at this point.
Dude, that's why I read out their games back because it's like 14. You read that number out loud. It's like that's almost 5 full series that they would have to go undefeated for while other teams lose.
Dude, look how close they are to the Marlins. Like they're not that much.
They're 3 games up on them. 2.5 games up. It's bad. It's really bad. And the Marlins are going to be sellers. The Braves should almost be sellers.
What the series against the Giants? They had a walk-off home run, a walk-off pass ball, and I think another walk-off home run. I mean, it can't get any worse than that, too. I mean,
and like you said too, like I don't think anybody expected this. Like me as a diehard Mets fan, I had multiple bets on the Atlanta Braves to win NL East this year. I was so adamant that the Mets were going to take third in this division coming into the year. I got a lot of shit from Mets fans from it. I just thought the Braves were going to be – they were my World Series pick, dude. I thought they were winning it all.
Yeah. No, it's super disappointing what's going on in Atlanta. I know that Atlanta fans cannot be happy. That being said, though, I'm just looking at the time here. I want to jump through to the Midwest real quick. I'm sorry. The Central, essentially the Midwest, and the West, and then we'll jump into the injuries. Starting the Central, guys, I don't have anything call out the Central this week. Obviously, Cubs are still in first. Everyone's still in first place who's been like kind of in first place. Cardinals are still lingering right there. They're 4 games back. The Brew Crew is doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Above 500, they're going to get the reinforcements. Brandon Woodruff, we mentioned, had that other setback. He's been really dealing with, a ton of like bad luck in his rehabilitation. We hope to see that end soon. And then the Reds are lingering. They're 500. The Pirates stink. They should definitely become sellers immediately and try and move David Bednar for any asset they can get. Same with Kiner Falefa. I think he's got to go. Heaney's probably got to go. And maybe even try and trade Reynolds for something. I know that's asking to move critically half the team, but quite honestly,
I was gonna say shout out to again. Paul Skeens 7+ innings, no earned runs, and he wasn't allowed to get the victory again. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that they should trade Paul Skeens. I know that was a huge topic going forward. How many times has Paul Skeens gone 6+, giving up no runs, and he's not in line for the win? It's insane. I mean, it's literally the new era of Jacob deGrom. I actually 7 innings and not get any fucking run support on a consistent basis, dude. It's unbelievable. He has a losing record, I think.
Yes, he does. And I saw a video today that I think was looking at the exact same thing. I believe it was 7 innings of no runs and like 4 or less hits. Skeens has 4 and got the loss. Skeens has 4.
Dude.
Yes, I think 4 of those this year. It was 2 or 4, and like that 2018 DeGrom had 12 that year. Like it was Skeens he's up there, and he's just awful run support. I said it last time. I don't even like to watch. I kind of refuse to watch Pirates games. I don't care if Skeens is pitching because I can't watch this offense, dude. Like it just trade anybody for a competent bat. I don't care who it is, just a competent bat that can even give you a 95 WRC plus.
Yeah, and that's my whole point on like the Skeens thing. Like, I'm not saying to go out and just outright trade the guy because, I mean, dude, you're setting your franchise back for sure. And I don't think Pittsburgh Pirates fans would even show up to the fucking games, to be completely honest with you. But, dude, their problem is not pitching. When let's say they do trade Paul Skeens, which is not going to happen, they have 5 competent arms when Jared Jones comes back and Graham Ashcraft is up. And Thomas Harrington's up, and Bubba Chandler is up, and they saw Mitch Keller. Like, they have plenty of arms. They can't hit outside of O'Neal Cruz right now, to be completely honest. Brian Reynolds is solid, but outside of those 2 guys, where else are they going to get? I mean, Tramar Johnson's a top prospect. Connor Griffin's going to be an absolute beast. He'll probably be a number one prospect before he gets the eventual call in a few years, but they need bats like desperately bad. I mean, like I said, multiple times in the podcast, MLB record for the most consecutive games of not scoring 4+ runs. You need fucking bats to help Paul Skeens right now. The guy's sporting almost a sub-2 ERA and is going out there consistently giving up no runs, and you can't back him up. How do you think he feels going out there every single fifth day and be like, you know what, damn, I know I'm not going to get any run support, but I'm just going to ball the fuck out anyways because I'm one of the best pitchers on the planet. I mean, that's what it's been like for Paul Skeens the last 5 or 6 starts at this point.
Dude,
And sorry, go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, if you see, like, I'm showing his just fantasy page, his worst start since May 1st, he went 5 innings. And it was just because he had 2 strikeouts. He had a 5.4 ERA. Oh, let's look. He's playing the best team in the division, arguably one of the best teams in baseball in the Cubs. Since then, 6 strikeouts, 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, 8 innings, 8 strikeouts, 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, 6 2/3, 8 strikeouts, 8, 7 strikeouts, 7 2/3. He is the 15th ranked player in fantasy right now. Overall, he's getting no wins. It's a whole stat he's being deflated from, like being robbed by his own team.
If there's one picture to sum up the Pirates season this year, it is the actual picture on Paul Skeens' MLB. Just a straight face looking pissed off. I feel so bad for Pirates fans, like genuinely feel bad. And also that I've brought it up too, when have the Pirates the last, I would say out of maybe McCutchen, built around a player? When? I mean, even when the Pirates were good, they were still rolling out Gregory Polanco on a consistent basis. Like, are they really going to go out and build around Paul Skeens? Do you really honestly think that the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to build around Paul Skeens? I don't think so. I don't.
Bob Nutting's not going to spend any money, dude. Like, you just look at this offense right now. Ono Cruz, 125 WRC plus. Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, he's going to be gone when he's a free agent. He's like, I don't think they're going to pay him.
No.
The second best hitter on this team right now is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. 106 WRC plus tied with Andrew McCutchen. Andrew McCutchen is on the verge of retirement here. Anything he gives you, you're gonna love. I mean, I love Andrew McCutchen. His best days are way behind him. Right. And Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, dude, I'm sorry, if he is your second best player, you are a god awful offense. If he is your second best hitter, I don't even want to talk about you if that's the case.
Yeah. They're a problem. We'll jump to the West though. We could shit on the Pirates all day. We can. I want to get back into it. Be like, yeah, Paul Skeens Day, bobblehead day. That picture that describes the Pirates here.
Mile long line.
Yeah, they came out for Paul Skeens. They didn't come out for anyone else. This is the guy. Like, make it happen. You need a new owner, or you need to change your habits, Bob Nutting. You need to change your habits.
They showed up.
What's up?
I was going to say they showed up for Brian Hayes, 56 WRC plus. That's what they showed up to watch.
Yeah, right.
Well, he has a 56 WRC plus.
Yeah.
God,
that's terrible. The West, I don't think we're going to have a lot to comment on here, just because we kind of dove into what's going on there earlier when we were talking about the Diamondbacks and Rockies. Giants and Padres are still they're both one game back. Padres are 37-27, Giants are 38-28. Dodgers are, they are having injury issues. And that's actually, I think, we'll jump into the injuries with. So they placed Tony Gonsolin on the 15-day IL. He with elbow discomfort. Guys, you know how I feel. Those words make me feel. They don't make me feel good. Elbow discomfort. Especially with Tony Gonsolin, who's been dealing with injuries for, it seems like every year he has something going on. So they now have Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, Tyler Glasnow, and Tony Gonsolin all on the 15-day IL or 60-day IL. They did activate Michael Kopech and Kirby Yates, but guys, I'm not worried about the Dodgers. But the last thing I'll say with this injury is, how many injuries can they sustain and still win the division? And I know that's a more rhetorical question, but you know what I mean? Are you guys concerned at all right now about them not winning the division?
I'm not concerned at all, but it is crazy because at the beginning of the year they had 2. If you took just their B rotation, it was still top 10 rotation of baseball. You could argue maybe in top 5 if you wanted to. they have 14 pitchers on the injured list right now.
I was gonna say,
And it's like there's all these jokes about like how many pitchers do you need? It's like that's how it felt. But clearly they don't have enough pitchers. Like they could have signed 5 more pitchers and they still would have seemed like the right amount of depth. I mean, they have Jose Urania on the roster.
14 pitchers on the IL.
They have Jose Urania.
It's absurd.
Shut up, Jose Urania.
They are still they're 39-27. They still command the lead in the NL West. And they're still the Dodgers, the reigning champions. So I'm not going to doubt them till, they lose out, but it's not all sunshines and rainbows in Los Angeles right now. The New York Mets, Francisco Lindor is dealing with a broken toe. This happened earlier this week. He's considered day to day. Hagen, did he play today? Do you know?
Yeah, he actually with the broken toe came in, got a pinch hit, go ahead double against the Rockies. Next day with the broken toe, got 2 hits, stole 2 bases. So
he stole 2 bases after a broken bro.
And then they'll show like he's limping a little bit too when he walks, but he's still stealing bags. Like this dude's a grinder. You're not going to want to take him out of the lineup. He's not going to.
That's so frustrating because I feel like, and I'm not trying to sound like an ass here. Like I know medically what I'm talking about, but like a broken toe, I feel like people don't typically get surgery for, and he's not going to get surgery for you know what I mean? Like it's like this is going to bother him for quite some time because you can't lay off your feet as a baseball player. You play a game every day essentially. So I'm curious to see how the Mets handle this. I'm sure their training staff is more than equipped to deal with it. That is something of note, I thought, for the Mets, especially because he's been off to such a great start. We got Andy Rodriguez for the Pirates. He was put on the 10-day IL with right elbow inflammation. So this is definitely noteworthy. He underwent Tommy John 2023, their catcher. So do not like to see that. Even more bad news with the Pirates. And then Minnesota's, I don't want to use the word phenom, but highly regarded prospect pitcher, Zebby Matthews, he landed on the IL with a shoulder strain on Sunday. So not what Minnesota needs, especially as they're 5 games above 500 right now and have a legitimate chance to potentially take the division if they stay healthy and Buxton keeps doing what he's doing when he's on the field. But, the Twins suffer a little setback. One thing I did call out this week, Atlanta, they actually designated Craig Kimbrell after calling him up for his 2025 season debut. Do you guys have any takes on the whole Kimbrell situation this week?
I would say real quickly, the thing that immediately screams to Craig Kimbrell's return after 10 years to the Atlanta Braves is the video of Aaron Rodgers running out on the field with the American flag for the New York Jets. That is Craig Kimbrell's final hoorah for the Atlanta Braves. That's what screams to me. I don't know. That sucks. I mean,
I think Rodgers is going to ball out, by the way, this year in Pittsburgh. But go on.
I don't know. I mean, he comes back and he's gone after, I think, an appearance.
Just one. It's the Packers special. You have a Hall of Fame quarterback. You send him to the New York Jets. He sucks there. He goes to a new team. He's great, and then retires.
I don't.
Have him Favre, but it's going to happen Rodgers. Then it'll happen Jordan Love at some point.
You think a guy like Kimbrell, like I know he was a depth signing for the team, but you think a dude who is making his return is the best closer in Braves history, arguably? You think he would just at least try to save him for you when he has a spot in the bullpen for like a couple of weeks to stay there, not just, all right, we need an inning and we'll DFA you, man.
Like, an appearance and he's gone. Like, bro, yeah, I thought that was wild, to be honest.
You're on mute, Brett.
Sorry. I was going to give an update on the Yankees Red Sox as we keep going. They're 9-5, 2 guys on. They're taking, I think, Crochet out, and they are throwing in a reliever here to deal with Austin Wells. So stay tuned as there's 2 guys on. And then that was really it for me this week in terms of news and notes. We got together on Thursday, so it wasn't a whole lot. And we kind of discussed that before we hopped on, Hagen. Anything big? And we still we went for an hour and 8 minutes on this one. Is there, Ethan, Hagen, any big call outs you guys have before we get out of here?
I mean, real quick, shout out to the, I think 1,000 people that are in on the live right now. That is absolutely remarkable. So thank you for everyone for coming out on a Sunday. I've said it to all you guys in the Skippers U War League. My team is fucking healthy. Watch out. Colton Cowser, Mike Trout. I'm liking my chances right now. 3 F4 gain in the last week. I'll take that any day of the week. And Josh Lowe's playing some great baseball too. So watch your tails.
Okay, Hagen. Anything else? I love
Yeah, dude. I really appreciate everyone who's came out here and listened to this. We all do really appreciate it a ton. We love doing these and having everyone come in and watch these. But my last thing, just a stat I have: Aaron Judge currently has a 746 slugging percentage coming into today. That would be higher than 79 qualified hitters OPS. That would put him like 48th percentile in OPS if you just use the slugging alone. It's higher than Julio Rodriguez's OPS.
Jeez.
It's higher than Taylor Ward, who's on pace for like 45 home runs. It's higher than his OPS.
Yeah, I will say though, where do you roll really quickly? I think Taylor Ward has to be a San Diego Padre. I wanted to like really quick touch on that for the Padre segment. Dude, if they can go out and get Taylor Ward, who's easily going to be a 30-plus home run bat and solidify a guy in left field, that would be huge for the team, dude.
I mean, a left fielder that wouldn't be like crazy expensive. Like you don't have to go give up your like a Tanner Scott we gave up for him last year. You don't have to go give up that package. And it's exactly what the Padres need too.
Yeah. By the way, it was not Austin Wells. It was Trent Grisham. I saw a quick note before they went to commercial as they were making pitching change. But currently, go tune in. That's my last 2 things. 1, tune into the Yankees Red Sox game as it's starting to heat up in the bottom 8th with 2 guys on, 1 out. The Yankees are trailing. And then, go follow our writers. We have a really good team of allocated writers writing for the blog right now. We put in a lot of time and effort on this podcast as well, and we entertain all ideas. So DM us at the Skippers View Podcast, Twitter. You can find us. We run it, and we'll answer your questions. If you have ideas for segments, let us know. It'll help us cater to the audience and what people want to hear. But other than that, just thank you for tuning in Sunday night, and I think we're out with that. Hagen, Ethan, I'll see you on the end of this Yankees Boston series probably in about a half hour. So till
Let's go
then,
Red Sox.
enjoy your guys' Sunday nights and have a good one. All right. Bye. Boom.